Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing this issue of the lectures. And I say, how do you lecture a room full of Gen Zs? I think that's the question. How do you, especially because many of them, those who are airheads might just hear you out and just be aloof when you're talking. But those who are really smart can engage you by Googling or maybe researching further what you're saying and challenging certain things. And many distressed or lecturers who are having issues find it as an attack. It's communicated to them as an attack anytime a student tries to challenge them in the lecture room. So how do you manage a room full of Gen Zs who are just challenging everything you're saying?
You're in the business of researching. You're in the business of upgrading. You're in the business of informing. And a young person now comes and says, that's wrong, and you feel insecure about it. You're not fit for it. Yeah. Because you would get that among your peers, lecturer, co-lecturers.
Anyway.
You know, we're in a modern world every day. I don't know a lecturer who doesn't have thesis, who is not releasing papers, who is not doing write-ups. I don't know that kind of lecturer. Because you're constantly researching, constantly repositioning things and informing people. That's the business of lecturing. You would have those young ones come and say, that's wrong. I searched it somewhere. You will quote your source. You will tell your lecturer. The lecturer's business is to put it right. You expect, in fact, if you have a class full of maybe Gen Zs and you don't have that engagement back and forth. You don't have a class. Yeah. You yourself, you should be saddened. You know? So I don't expect any lecturer to be acting up over that. We have some tweets. Let me take Benga Ezike. He says, at least if the students can't afford laptop, they should know they need it, and phone can assist to some extent. Osholale says, while it's easy to blame lecturers for issues like this, forgetting that they are human beings, our Gen Zs must be admonished on what and how to behave in schools. I know some of our lecturers, you can't enter their classrooms once they've entered before you. Yeah. And we know that one.
All of those that everything you once you enter a class, no Gen Zs, every little thing they're recording. Like this one right now, every small thing they're recording.
You can't record someone without their consent, especially in a classroom.
Oshulale. Have you read that one?
Oshulale, yes.
Have you read it? I sensed confusion between.
No, I didn't.
Go ahead, okay.
I sensed a confusion between lecturing and teaching. For us to clearly differentiate between these two concepts, the mental capacity and attitudinal intelligence of the recipient must be judged. Habit is formed before university and values are instilled from home.
Prof says, no lecturer in the world will allow his class to be disrupted by a student or students who uses telephone during classroom. This one is not lecturing here. It's somewhere in Europe. Some record Instagram and TikTok videos live in classes or browse social media on their phones while in class. It is a disruptive and disrespectful move. Some students can give you mental health issues if you are not careful in a university setting.
Exactly.
There's no infinite freedom anywhere in the world. Yeah. If we say it is an adult world, it means students should behave like adults as well.
Yeah, exactly. So in response to your question, I think we need to understand that the era of a lecturer or a teacher knowing it all is over. You will get into a class with students who know the particular topic more than you. And one of the ways that you can, assert your authority without asserting your authority, without raising your voice and showing I'm the person here, is to give them self-directed lessons, is to help take it back to them. So what we do is, when we're trained at the time, I've never lectured in a university before, but I have a friend who does, is that instead of preparing your notes, you come, you stand the way they used to teach us back in the day. You come, you put the questions open. You assign them into groups. Let them brainstorm and come out. By the time you check what they have and what you have in the different groups, you will be amazed at the new information even you, the lecturer or teacher, has gotten. So give it back to them. These people are full of energy. So how you harness their energy in the classroom. One of the reasons that they disrupt is because they are bored most of the time. You talk, and they are listening. Some will doze off. We have people who will sleep off in the classroom. Some would find something else to be doing to engage them, finish and go so that I'll move on to the next class.
I struggle.
Hold on. If you engage them, you give them tasks. Your job as a teacher is to direct the learning. You supervise, and then you can correct one or two things and all of that. They are actively engaged. They look forward to your class because they know that you can call anybody to answer the question from this group. You can call anybody to represent and present from this group. Everybody's alert.
I struggle
and you
with
get a good class.
When I was in the US, I struggled with this system because of
That's
a
what they were using
Nigerian
there, right?
mentality. Because my mentality was, you teach me, I write notes, I study it. But now telling us, you give us, all of us our research, and not saying everything, and I'm thinking,
What am I
You
doing
know, I get, so it took me a while
to adjust?
to adjust because I felt drowned while my colleagues were talking and discussing and engaging.
They were used to it.
They were used to it. I was lost for a while. It took me a while to adjust. But you see, the truth is that some people find it prefer to be lectured to. Teach me what you know.
You know, we have different learning.
There are different-
This used to cause
yes,
some things.
yes.
And
Learning
then
styles,
Kiniko,
back.
But I was even going to say that, you know, even if I don't teach you like that, it doesn't give you the right to be rude to me.
Yes.
Of course not.
You know, so I think that we have to draw that line where the student feels that they can, because someone is saying here that you don't lecture, you ask questions. You are not there to lecture your lecturer.
Yeah.
You ask questions. Even if the lecturer doesn't know, the lecturer will go back.
Yes.
You know, so I think that we need to make sure that there is a
Mutual respect.
yes.
So, but you don't ask question is scary for me. And that's why we are where we are as blacks, as Africans. We are not allowed to ask our elders questions. But every a part of the world that has developed is because they allow questions, because people have different intelligences. You as a lecturer, you must come prepared to the classroom. And you must be open to learning from your students. You can never know it all. You will have geniuses in that class. You have olodos in the class. You have a mixed multitude in the class. Now, if you do something, it's like you are solving mathematics and you solve something wrong in the board. And because you are the lecturer and we're supposed to be in a culture of respect, somebody who spots that, this calculation is not adding up, cannot question you in class. And then you mislead the whole class. You've gone home. And people will write the exams and fail. So we should encourage asking questions. However, we should ask in politeness. It's like how our children annoy us most of the time these days. They are growing.
Yeah.
They ask us questions. Do this, do that. They say why. They will be giving you reasons. And you're like trying to shut them down. When I remember myself, I'm like, okay, I want to allow this child to ask questions and not shut the child down, because I will shut down their creativity.
Yes, but
Okay, let me take
you
this
are
call.
writing a maths problem, and the students
Spots the mistake.
There's no harm in saying, sir, my calculation here
It's different from yours.
Is different from yours. That's a polite way.
Yeah.
You say, okay, this is wrong.
Yes, and that's what Gen Zs do.
No,
That's what we see that on social media now.
Yeah.
Once something happens, the way they insult you.
So
So
the
it's
respect
the
is very
decorum that we don't even teach our children how to behave in the classroom.
ask
Let me
there must be a way to
let me come to you, Nima, in a second. I have a call. Sheon, I believe. Is it Sheon?
Yeah, sure.
You're live. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I want to just make some points about the issue of the lecturer and the students. Now, when I saw the video, the lecturer was wrong, assaulting the students. But I graduated from school 2 years ago, and I know what my colleagues do when it comes to the issue of lecturers and students. Now we talked about, you are talking about students asking questions. There's difference between you asking questions and challenging your lecturers. Well, we have some students in class that they even know more than the lecturers. But the best thing to do is just ask questions in polite way. So I think this. Though we have some lecturers that they feel like you can't ask them questions, that's normal. But the student, but we need to consider the fact that this is Nigeria. We have our values, we have our culture.
Yeah.
Then specifically in OAU, their motto is for learning and culture. OAU lecturers, they value that culture. If you see OAU students, they will tell you culture and learning.
Absolutely.
Now, there's nothing bad if you switch off your phone. Okay, switch off the phone. Switch off the phone, then walk out and switch off, on your phone back. There's nothing bad in that. When I was in school, I had an issue with the lecturer. He said that we should not enter the class, and people were begging. And the man made a statement. He said, if you don't leave that door, I would disgrace you. Immediately he said, I left. I left to the place. And people that were there, the man was angry. I was like, I said you should leave the class, leave the door. You came late, stuff like that. And later on, the man called me back because I obeyed. And he said, you come back to the class. And I came back. So we need to understand that some students, they are just, how would I put it, this generation, we are just something else entirely.
Yeah.
We need to respect our lecturers. Fine. Okay, let me just cite an example. When I did my teaching practice, and I was in class, I was teaching my students because as education students, we are taught how to control the class. And I was teaching my students, there's this specific lady in my class. She will not listen. 7 secondary student, oh, she will not listen. She will not write notes. And later I discovered that this lady, maybe she has interest in a young guy just teaching it. He got it, I was just like, see, don't come to my class again. You know that you will not be obeying my rules and regulations. Just stay out. When I'm done with the class, you can call me. We need to set standards.
Yeah.
Even some lecturers will set standards as a student. They will tell the students, don't do this, don't do that. But some students will still not obey.
Yeah.
And if you got the time that, you just
Exactly.
like, if you can't obey my class, just get out of my class.
Thank you very
Or
much.
I don't want it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's part of the training, because as much as we see them as adults, but they are still forming. They're not fully formed adults yet. They're not yet in the society. So we still need to form them where that they become more responsible adults in society.
The kind of training they get in primary school is for a primary school teacher. It's certainly not the same what they do in secondary school.
Yeah.
And it will never be the same with what he obtains in the university. You are not supposed to form an adult in the university. That adult is supposed to come and apply all the home training that they have and bring it into a formal setting. They will live here and go to learning. Also in their workplaces, they will be learning in a different method. So there must be a different way to comport. I'm not absorbing the student. Truly, how many minutes we use to switch off phone? But me gone, I will run. There's no way a lecturer can catch me in the door. If I enter wrong class, I will be faster than
disappear.
I would have disappeared. I don't know why, that.
That story doesn't add up to me about him being in the wrong class. Because if you are in the wrong class, how did the teacher know your phone was, the lecturer know your phone was on?
No, he wanted to make a call. So when he came into the class, so it's either maybe we don't know exactly the full story. I'm just speculating right here. So he came into the class. He now realized it's wrong. He tried to walk out. The guy called him, come back here. So he was probably engaging him, maybe trying to find out where he's from, what class he was going to. And then the guy, he was now standing by the door. He now carried the phone, he was now telling him that don't call anybody, bring your phone. Without challenging him. That's why the back and forth was saying that I can't give you my phone.
He was saying switch off your phone.
So I think we also need to be, as lecturers, handling young children, we also need to be quick on our feet in terms of thinking of how best to handle these students. I think back in the day, we used to have, aside from your graded for your marks, you are graded for attitude and attendance. I don't know if they still have it. Yes. So you come to your class and you tell them, attitude is 20 marks or 30 marks. Your classroom attendance is either 20 marks or 30 marks. Then your coursework, the main work, is about 60 marks or 70 marks. However, you share it. Now, when a student decides to have cocoa head and disrupts you in class, and you have given like a warning, you've sent out, maybe they are that stubborn that they don't want to go out, by the time the attitude reduces the mark or the attendance reduces the mark, you will know that next time you will behave yourself.
Assess attitude? Because in schools, in universities, you're supposed to use matric number so that you reduce the victimization that happens.
Yeah, so you don't see the faces.
So you don't see the faces. So a student that comes to your class, if you are not a troublesome lecturer, you are not supposed to know the name of a student.
I didn't know.
I had such an experience in 400 level where a lecturer said they should invite me. Well, I'm going to go shoot my head.
Can I read this?
They should invite me to see him at staff room. And I didn't want to go to any staff room to meet any lecturer personally one-on-one. So I refused to show up. And when they finally show.
For your results, how did he find you? They always find you.
I kept trying to fight that fight.
They find you.
Because you're supposed to not know me.
No, you're supposed
to be by matriculation number.
You go cram.
You're supposed to know me.
Let me take this.
Can I just
go ahead, Waki. I have a caller.
The world is changing. Gen Z's, AI, tech-enabled classrooms, etc. And our universities should lead the way in innovation.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, it's not the case. We have old hawks lecturing millennials. The age and approach gap is a problem.
Yes,
I agree.
This is from Franklin Benjamin Ono.
It is.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me pause you for a second. That's the point. That's the point. Let me take this one. Good morning. Thanks for calling. You're live. I'll come back to you right here. Hello. Good morning.
Sorry, I think the issue that we have. Hello. Good morning. Can you hear
Good morning. We can hear you. Go ahead, please. From Cambridge.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes.
Yes, I think the issue that most Nigerian universities have, because I was privileged to go to a university for 1 year in Nigeria, is the fact that most of the lecturers tend to put their ego before their work. You're dealing most of the time with 18-year-olds, young adults. So most of the time, if you have to teach, at least I have seen the difference between the two sides, is that you have to basically tailor to the student that you have. Yes, it might be a bit different sometimes when you're talking about, but certain rules within your class and making sure that the students obey those rules is what I think most Nigerian universities are lacking. With regards to the phone, I go to uni here, and I personally have a learning disability. I'm dyslexic. And most of the time, I record my lectures. And my lecturer cannot come at the end of the day to dictate to me how I should learn. I can only basically conduct the way, and the university lets me record these lectures. I am able to use my phone to make notes and do whatever I want, as long as I am not stifling the learning of another student. I don't see how, at the end of the day, in the world that we live in, a lecturer or a university will bring the rules and say, do not use your mobile phone. It is actually, you can only say to them, okay, do not use your mobile phone if at the end of the day, it is going to disrupt the learning of another person. Because you attacking me during lecture and telling me not to use my mobile phone is you disrupting your own class. So you can as well just have your lectures, basically teach and do what you have to do and move on. If I don't peak, I don't peak. If I peak, I peak. But it's about just, at the end of the day, respecting me as an individual and my own learning needs. And then I would also respect you as a lecturer by not disrupting your class. I want to give an example. Most of my lecturers here do not let you come into the class 50 minutes after they've been in. They give you that grace period, and we all respect it. So if I'm running late for a lecture and I know that I will not get there 15 minutes after, I don't even show up. I basically have to go and approach my other colleagues and be like, you know what did they teach? But that's me respecting them.
Thank you very much.
It's also them respecting me.
Thank you very much. Okay, but you see, in Oge's case, I can see, obviously, this is a student that wants to be in school. Many of our Gen Zs have that mentality of who education help. They're probably there because parents sent us to school. Because our daddy said we have to be here. I'm not here because I want to be here. I'm rather going to be in the studio recording one music. I have my friends. But I'm here because, listen, they said we should have education, have degree. So they don't want to be there. So they're not here to learn from any lecturer. They're just here while away time. And if the lecturer says something, they feel they can joke and laugh with you or challenge you or just be disruptive or frustrate the man. Because they don't really want to be in the school. Because they're making better money because they're driving better cars. And a lecturer, they're already doing businesses on the side that are bringing money. So to them, the lecturer is not teaching them anything. I'm just here to while away time. So you're different from an Oge who is schooling in Cambridge and understand, okay, she's in her phone, but she's there for a different reason. Somebody else say, I'm here just to while away time. Those are Gen Zs.
You would always,
University is Cambridge.
Yes.
That's 21st century. In fact, they are going to another century going there. Yeah, see, this is Nigeria. Let us wear the cloth that fits us. I'm not going to compare any university in Nigeria to a Cambridge, for instance. Even the private ones, because I know that there are some private ones that they make them wear uniform.
Yes.
In fact, when I even uniform in university, and when I tried, they said, come on, shut up, it's Nigeria. I kept my mouth shut.
Yes, because we're growing at our own pace.
We're
developing at our pace.
So in our own country, you can't carry phone, no.
in our class, so.
In our class.
You cannot carry phone because not everybody is like Oge.
Yes.
A lot of us are not there yet mentally. Go ahead.
Ariyo, there are a lot of Gen Zs I've seen who know what they want.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Who want to go to the school, who want to become medical doctors, become lawyers. I still see them. They are not going there because they are forced to go there. We need to understand that we must have a mixed multitude. Even in our time that we were not Gen Zs, we had people who were not serious. Millennials. We have people.
I wanted to confirm that you knew what you were.
Of course, I will know what I am this modern day. Please, I'm raising.
I don't know.
I'm raising alphas. I know we are millennials.
I don't know.
We are millennials.
Okay, we are millennials. Yes. So, but what's your own?
We are baby boom.
Baby boom.
Baby boom.
Bloomers. Is it the
baby boom? No, baby boom. Baby boom.
Baby bloomers.
No, boom.
Boom. It's boom.
I will move on, please.
Okay. So we must have. In our time, we had people who were not interested. In fact, you don't see them in class till it's time to write exams. I don't know how they do their reading. I don't know how they do anything, but they show up, write exams, and then they disappear. Yeah. We had people who were already working. I had a classmate who was already working in Shell at the time, studying political science with me. He doesn't show up. He just comes once in a while and all that. We had people who will come and stay at the back. They are just gisting what does not concern lecturer. And lectures are going on. The people who are interested in reading and studying will find a space in the front and in the middle, and they will pay attention. So the thing is to know what you're going there to do. Do you want to waste your time? The university system will allow you waste your time. There are a lot of activities that will waste your time for you. Do you want to learn? You will learn. And for all these students who don't want to go to school, who tell their parents, maybe I want to learn a skill or something, and they're forcing them to school, stop forcing them. Allow the child to do what they want to do.
Okay, let me take them. Perfect. Thanks for calling. Perfect.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, you're live. You're live. Perfect. Go ahead, please. Can't hear you.
Network is breaking. Okay, so let me take to
go ahead.
it. Bilki says, I think lecturers need to upgrade beyond knowing their course content. Emotional intelligence is an essential skill to handling Gen Z's daring or non-conformist behavior. They should go for periodic trainings because time is changing. Andrew says, that's why I'm an advocate of passing A-levels before seeing the door of a university in Nigeria, rather than going through the prelim routes.
One of, this is from Alaji. He says, one of my all-time newspaper cartoons was during the COVID. A kid gleefully remarked during holding his phone, before now, they used to punish us for bringing our phones to school and even seize the phones. Now the school is inside the phone.
Good Beat says, I went to university in the UK. Phones are not allowed in class.
Franklin
Let me take
Bender
Hassan.
says,
Good morning, Hassan. I'll come to you. Good morning, Hassan. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Likely, may God bless you. May God bless your wisdom. You see, you being there is a plus. Because you said something that called for my attention. We should wear clothes that fits us. We are Nigerians. I'm not here to back the lecturer. I'm here to scorn our so-called undergraduate students of nowadays. They lack discipline and self-decorum. And we should be able to face it head on so that we can have good future leadership in future. Because what you are seeing now, in our university, you dare not confront a lecturer. You dare not talk nonsense to him. What I'm saying, people are trying to do a sort of struggling between the right and morality. No. A lecturer has a right to set a standard in his classroom. It is not for you to on a phone. It is not for you to make a call. Look, the worst that can happen to that lecturer is to be reprimanded. Nothing further than that. You understand? Because he acted out of his mind. And no much punishment can be applied to that lecturer. But that student should be worked on. And people, Obafemi have been saying something. You will say one thing here, you will say another one here.
Yeah.
You will go again, and you will support here. Look, let me tell you. You see these students, you as a mother, don't take anything from your children because you are there as a leader. Don't take anything from them.
Thank you very much. I didn't hear half the things you said.
Yeah. so let me just read this. Where is it to? It says when you are paying 60K pounds in a university, when you pay 60K pounds, you go learn past learning. That's the one going to Cambridge.
Yes. Yeah. So we are all sitting here blaming Gen Zs. How did we raise them? Because the child's character is totally formed before they are 12. So what job, how did we do the job as parents? I went to the university where there were well-behaved students in school. Nobody needed to chase them to go to their classes or do what they were sent there to do. I also saw other people who were not behaved at all. They didn't care. So the question is, how did they form that character before going into the university? It's not the university that you start forming a child's character. They were formed from home. So let us also hold the one that concerns us. How are we forming the children that we have? Do we have children who their parents, their teachers come to complain to us and we ignore it and say, I beg? And we talk about the teachers so bad in the house that the child picks that up. When the child gets into the university and starts manifesting tomorrow, you will say they are Gen Zs. But how did you raise them? So let's look inwards. What kind of reports do we have for our children from their schools today. That will tell us how they are going to behave in the universities. And let's start working on that behavior today. Everybody's here. We are shouting Gen Z, Gen Z. This generation, our mother's generation, YK's generation, raised these Gen Zs that we have today. So we need to be questioning you people.
No.
How did you raise us?
I raised a millennial. And she's very...
Okay, you raised the millennial.
I raised the millennial, so she's very polite.
Who raised the Gen Zs that we have today?
Well, it's we millennials.
No, my child is not up to Gen Z yet. It's alpha.
Anyways, let's stop being so Nigerian by pointing fingers. Wait, somebody's fault. We all have responsibility. Yes, go ahead.
Let me take this tweet and I need to
please, and there are many I need to take.
Oluwatosin Olaniru says, I haven't seen the video, but according to your discussion, the lecturer overreacted. But I will still blame the student no matter what. Learn to bow to elders. This one is why we are here. This one is why we are here. That's what they used to say in Yoruba land. There's no one island of knowledge. There's no one island of knowledge. Yeah. If you want respect, you give it. As the students came in, excuse me, why are you in my classroom? Oh, sorry, I missed my way. Okay, please step out. You're distracting my class. Conversation
simple.
Ended. Conversation over. Why do you want to do this? I want to do this. Why do you want? I want to do that.
They're in an ego.
Beat me phone. I say police officer stopped me. I now brought out. We were now having exchange. Next he say, I say you don't.
You don't.
He say I'm not your mate. I say how do you know her? Because I'm a woman. I'm even older than you. I said, Koya, bring your certificate. Let's prove it. Because I don't get it.
On the road.
How that conversation take consign age. Simple conversations.
I'm telling you.
Bend it out.
To get respect, you give respect.
You give respect.
Right, let me let you jump in.
Oluwaseun Olatunde says, YK Abina, our education is free. Any free thing, they abuse. Superboy says, lecturer lacked maturity, emotional intelligence, and restraint. He could have been lynched by the class. You have no right to lay your hands on your student. It's an assault.
Very, very wrong. Yeah. And as an action...
that thing you said earlier, we all want quality education in Nigeria, but yet we're not willing to pay for it. Ordinary to increase school fees now, the whole of Nigeria. So the truth is that these lecturers who are not being earned, we're not earning like the Oxford guys, they're not earning like the Cambridge guys. How do you expect them to behave? They also have their own repressed regression that they are waiting to unleash. So it's a cycle that everybody has a fault somehow, somewhere. Yeah. They're all part of this problem. Because there's no way in the world that education is affordable. Everybody has to pay something. But here, only in Nigeria, you have somebody finished from medical school here with nothing from his family. Go abroad and start earning $100,000 or $200,000 a year. And now he has his counterparts who are there struggling to pay back their school loans. And he's there lounging.
Expensive school fees here. They don't have freedom. Or official Lil Kud says, I'm a student of a private institution. In my school, phones are strictly controlled. My class is not a B class, so it's like being in an upgraded secondary school.
Wow.
There should be church.
Imagine this lecturer was in an air-conditioned, imagine this guy was in an air-conditioned hall where there's light, is well lit. You have these nice, these modern boards, projectors that you're using. The kids are coming in there, and he comes in late. You won't be aggressive, and you're being paid well. Your research is being seen around. You have a nice, good car. You will not be angry. That aggressive. In fact, did you see his shirt was wearing? Usually lecturers wear suits, I think. But
no, in that heat.
Okay, sorry. So the point is, there's a lot of factors. There are lots of factors that could have caused that aggression we saw in the lecture.
He's not
so you can't compare it to the Cambridge.
He's not doing that room business.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that sometimes.
That's not collected.
Or maybe the girlfriend did not allow.
That's why girlfriend broke up with him before he came to class.
Time Media says, in grammar schools in the UK, your phone must be out of sight throughout the day. In the uni, having your phone to sight is considered rude to the lecturer. At work, some offices consider phone as a taboo.
Yeah.
So you see, there are different rules
in different places.
I think where the lecturer erred was his overreaction.
Yeah, reaction.
Yes. Yeah. By even laying his hand on the student.
Totally wrong. That's an assault, automatic assault. Jeff from I think it's Zamfara. Good morning, Jeff. From Kaduna. I do apologize. You're live.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Well, Niman have really said a lot of things that I want to say. I want to contribute about the issue on ground. What I was not, I don't know is that if the lecture was going on when the students get into the class. So when I don't know if the lecture was going on when the student gets into the class to discuss.
Possible, we don't know. I'm not sure.
Other students. And I don't know, again, it might be that the lecturer is angry and it could be an issue of transfer aggression.
Yeah.
So, but whatever it is, just as Ibe Uju was saying, has made a lot of examples.
Thank you very much.
This is a university, not a kindergarten or secondary school, that you would just be bundling a mature person, pushing the person out of the class. It is uncalled for. Whatever it is, you just talk to the student politely, hello, leave my class. Even if the guy tries to prove stubborn, you can call on the security or whatever. Please get this person out of my class. So they both have
faults. Thank you very much, Jeff, for sharing your thoughts.
Yeah, let's not forget our culture in everything. Our culture is very important, and how we uphold the culture and how we teach our children to respect people goes a long way. So that advice you are giving to that child, enforcing that they are able to respect. When the child gets to the university, nobody would remind the child to, respect the lecturer, to respect these, what do they call them? Those other non-teaching staff that they see. You will see that respect exude. So, but when you condone that disrespect because you feel you are in a certain place where the teacher is lower than you, that's what they are also going to take into the university. So we need to be very careful about that. And
can I comment? Anybody want to wrap up soon? Any comments?
I think that there's something really about our culture that I like. If you are a young person or even an elder person, you enter a room where there are people, it's very common. It's courtesy to greet.
Yeah.
But in Igbo land,
if not to in the 21st century, in the YK, don't confuse.
No, I said we are not.
We didn't. No, I thought you wanted us to be. So we should all not enter hotel.
So that we can have lights. When we start walking, because
choose your hustle. No. You want light or you want to greet people?
I want good roads.
Choose your hustle. You want light or you want to be able to greet people and respect?
I want good roads. I want light and I want water.
Yes, and you don't want to greet people.
And I will still greet people.
Yeah, they want to merge the culture.
Our culture. No, it's not merging the culture. It's maintaining our culture. Countries like Korea and other places maintain their culture. They are very polite. They are very respectful. They respect their parents, grandparents, and all of that. And they do that publicly. And yet, they are still growing in technology and everything. So we can make cultures together.
China, China, they say
it's only lights that will determine.
With lights, with lights.
Can we not change the subject? Can you focus on this matter of
no, today is closed.
Because somebody is asking.
It's time to
so
go.
there is even
time to close. It's time to close. So that is all we can take on today's show.
Mariah, you don't want me to read this.
That's all. Hope you've learned a few things. As we have a wonderful day. God bless you. Okay, God will not let you catch that tweet. God will not give you that quick tweet, guys.
Bye, people.
Bye-bye.